poppin'? As my husband would say, welcome to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. I barely made it, but we are here. Let's welcome in James from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome in. Welcome in.
Like,
Thank you
comment,
for
and
being
subscribe, you guys. Make sure you show my girl some love. Subscribe to the channel, especially if you love the content.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to my new subscribers. I had this month 11 new subscribers already. May not feel like the most, but for me, that's a good amount. And I'm finally at 700. So I'm hoping to get to 1,000, and maybe someday YouTube will stop playing with me and I can monetize. I have the watch time hours. I have the subscribers. I don't really quite understand what's happening, but you know,
I don't think any of us understand what's happening. It's just happening.
I just don't think YouTube like us. They prefer the colorless.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. And if you've been to Silicon Valley, which James has, he's from here. But if you've been to Silicon Valley, like actually lived here and seen it, you would understand why some creators don't always get the appropriate or fair representation. But that is another thing. We are here to go over Basketball Wives on VH1. Between Basketball Wives and Love and Hip Hop, I'm convinced these are the only shows that are keeping VH1 afloat as a network. Don't talk to me or don't at me about that Impact show with all the people famous for nothing and because of who they have babies with. I don't know what else VH1 has anymore. They used to have a bunch of different shows, scripted TV, reality shows. Now it's kind of like they're pushing everything to MTV. But we'll work with what we got. This was the 4th episode of season 12. Friends and foes do Vegas. In real life, they don't. You shouldn't go anywhere where there's a lot of alcohol with people you don't fully call your friends. That's just my little plan in life that I like to follow. But we start the episode with Jennifer and the boy toy, because that's what he is. This man can't even get his hair cut right. He's getting more and more unattractive to me. He kind of looks like a meerkat in the face, but that's just my opinion. They meet and eat, and I guess Christian's aunt and somebody else, some family members of Christians were there as well. And the family is mad because all they have to talk about apparently is Evelyn. And I can understand it. I am married, so I do understand where Jen is coming from a little bit. But now that we know you're not legally married, Jen, shut the hell up. You should not be throwing this big of a fit towards anybody for having an opinion on somebody who you are not legally married to. And you tried to fool everybody and make them think that you was married, knowing that you're not. And James made a good point when I was texting James about this, just in our little personal text, like, is giving Yandy and Mendices. But at least Yandy had the balls to admit that she didn't want to marry him because she don't want to have to pay his child support. She don't want to have to pay his restitution. She don't want to have to be responsible for his debts. I can respect that. But Jen, I don't know what Jen is doing. Jen hasn't told us anything. But apparently Evelyn got into it with some of Christian's family members for commenting because they didn't like that Evelyn was online, basically throwing subliminals about Christian and Jennifer and their relationship. And his family saw it and commented back on it. They like, you saying all this online, but not to their face. My thing is, Evelyn has said this to your face, even prior to investigating Carl's shady ass cousin. Evelyn has said these things to their face. Was it okay? No, but she did at one point say it to the face. Now, I'm going to just say for now where we're at with the show, I want Jen to shut up until she's legally married. Until you legally married, don't play like you married. That irritates me. And
did she ever get legally married is the question.
I would love to know. I'm not.
Yeah, because what is this episode then? Like, what are we building up to? Is the question, because Evelyn just recently put it out that she's not legally married. So then what the hell are we doing?
What are we going to watch on this show?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about then.
We're going to get into that because there was a lot that we saw on this show. And then you base things on what, as James just said, Evelyn has been sharing in real time. And you're like, Shawnee, I know that this is your friend, but the things that she's putting out in anger towards somebody else, and Evelyn really don't have no reason to be mad, but the things that she's putting out in anger are actually spoiling the fact that this shit ain't reality. We already knew it, but she's just further proving the point of why this show needs to go. And Shawnee's happy ass is still in this picture with that stiff wig at the
We
front.
ain't seen her yet.
We ain't heard her name, seen nobody on the call with her, nothing. There's no, so I don't know. How did you feel about, though, James, Christian's family and their opinions? Because for me, I'm like, okay, I expect them to side with him, but other than that,
like any family would, I expect for them to side with him as well, because they probably benefit from what he does. So I do expect them to have his back. Even if they weren't benefiting, I still would expect them to have their back. So, I mean, what do you expect? That's a family. That's what family is supposed to do. It would be odd if they didn't have his back. But what
But
I want,
I want to know why we see his family, but we still ain't seen Jen's.
Jen ain't got no family.
She got somebody.
No.
Somewhere.
Her mom is gone. Her dad was gone. She was an only child. So
her mom and dad ain't have siblings.
I don't know about all that, but
I'm saying I got aunts and uncles.
I just know she was an only child, though.
We don't know much, and that's my thing. Jen is coming on this show talking about other people's families. Jen is on this show, and she really hasn't given us much. I just don't like her on the show no more. I had interrupted you. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
No, you're fine. What I was saying was, I just feel like for me, watching this back, even building up to this, I just feel like Evelyn is using this as a storyline, and it's annoying. But at the same time, I think her energy is misdirected. I feel like she's like, you probably mad at the wrong reasons. I feel like there are people that he probably did allegedly scam, but I don't feel like Kiki is one of them. I really feel like she just misunderstood, and Evelyn is milking this.
Kiki seemed like the cousin they don't really deal with, who use her cousin's name when it's necessary.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Hi, Quay. Welcome in really fast. We thank you for being here. Oh, God. I don't know. I'm tired of this. I feel like they're going to beat the hell out of us with this same ass storyline, episode after episode after episode. And if we get to the reunion and she cannot provide us with her marriage certificate,
then I'm going to read the fuck out of her, because why are you wasting our time?
Right. People is really taking sides on this beef because they are iconic as it relates to reality TV. They're also iconic as it relates to basketball wives, right? So I can understand why people will feel the need to take sides. But anybody, I'm honestly looking at anybody who's black taking Evelyn's side with a side eye, because we may not have liked OG, but if you're not black and you out here making comments on people looking like certain primates, then I don't like you. Because you know where that came from and you know your intention. So I don't know. But moving forward, y'all, Brandy, Evelyn, Brittany, and this new girl, Denise, who is very forgettable, who I do not like. They all meet, and they're also discussing, the issues that we saw Christian, his family, and Jen discussing. Evelyn is basically calling Christian's aunt Jen's fake auntie because they ain't even actually married. And then she's making it seem and painting the picture that these people are bothering her. Evelyn, you have been talking about their family, coming for the marriage, questioning this man and who he is. And it's interesting because you should have had this same innocent. Evelyn should have had this energy last season. She was hiring PIs and all of this stuff for the wrong things, trying to expose Jackie. If you really cared about your friend and you claim to be into investigative work, as she so claims, then why wouldn't you be investigating Christian last season and talking to Jen about that? Now you suddenly have all these receipts. So I feel like Evelyn is bored and SG is not selling the way it should to keep her as busy as she needs to be. She's not dating nobody right now. She just seems to be bored. Because why? Why does she keep putting all this effort into other people's business while also not really sharing any of hers?
Of her own? Yeah.
Talk about, are you still friends with Tiffany, Evelyn?
She said she was never friends with Tiffany, even though we all call bullshit.
She was on their show.
We know she was friends with Tiffany. So, yeah.
I can't with Evelyn. There's so much that she could
No,
talk
we're not
about.
gonna play semantics with Evelyn. We're just not gonna do it. We know you was friends with that lady. We know
Hmm.
you and that lady were close. We know it all, so we're not gonna play with you.
Evelyn is too much. She's just too much. But Evelyn learns that Jen is going to be having a official wedding, which I'd like to make it clear. If you've had your wedding already, they really don't need to do an official wedding. They could have went to the courthouse, put their hands up, and just done something to get married. They could have done it virtually, depending on the state you're in. There's so many different things they could have done. So I'm wondering why they're having a second wedding when they already had their first. But okay. But she learns of the wedding, and she's asking why they're wasting people's time. And I kind of agreed with Evelyn in this instant. Why did you have everybody get passports and do the most to go to Paris for, as she said, a big ass party? That's actually rude. Just because it's your wedding day doesn't mean you also get to ignore the needs of other people. I feel like we should always be considerate of each other. We don't need to make our decisions based on each other, but we should be considerate. She had a bunch of people fly to Paris. Y'all Google how much that costs. Have to get accommodations, take time off of their schedules, make sure their passports was correct. To even have to deal with customs for some shit you don't want to deal with, or for some shit that's not official, is ridiculous. To have a wedding just to tell us later that you're not actually married, it makes no sense. But the weirder part for me is that Jennifer's having her official wedding, I'm using air quotes, on the same day as Evelyn's birthday. And because of this, Brandy invites Evelyn to Vegas. James, I don't know where to begin, so I'm going to let you. How did you feel about the invite? What, how you felt about the scene, James? They stressed
I
me out.
feel like to me, I don't think she was being shady. I really don't. I don't think it was shady. But I do think that it was a way for you to see who really is loved out of the group between you and Evelyn. Now, whether that is shade, okay. But I don't think that that's shady. I just think she was like, okay, we're going to see who actually cares about me, who doesn't, who leaves your birthday for my wedding, and who doesn't show up because it's your birthday. I think she's trying to one up her. I think that's why she did it that way. Because it does not make sense, in the hindsight. Like, hindsight is 2020. It does not make sense for her to have it on Evelyn's birthday. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It's like, I get you and her are not friends right now, but like, it's her birthday, and the people you want to be there. If they're already committed to going to Evelyn's event, why would you have it that day? But then also, it's the show.
Yeah, I think
don't
that's
think
what
Jen
a
would do
lot
it.
of
I really
people
don't.
forget. This is a show. I've seen from this episode a lot of like overly emotional responses. In my opinion, on this episode, now I'm like, wait. Some people is bad at Brandy. Some people is bad at Evelyn. Whether you married, single, whatever the hell, if you don't actually know these people, we here just to have good fun, talk about it. But some people online is really like going back and forth. I said, oh Lord, I can't keep up. But yeah, as for this comment, Quay, I don't know where the hell Denise came from. I don't get her purpose. She was thrown into the mix with the ladies without. She had an introduction. Who was on the show, James? It was either last season or a couple seasons ago. Where
She
like
came in with Chantel.
I know she came in with Chantel, but there was someone else on Basketball Wives a couple seasons ago where they did this with how they introduced them.
Oh,
Like,
there was a lot of people that got introduced this way. The exact way she got introduced, we had Angel Brinks got introduced this way.
it
We
was so
have,
random.
yeah, it was random. Kiana Stewart got introduced this way. Who else? Who else? One of them birds. They were sisters.
I know who
One that
you're
got the
talking about.
baby with Dwayne Wade.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
That is funny.
yeah. So there's a lot of people they do that because they're not pertinent to the show. So the fact that she's in the main cast opening is weird.
It is. It definitely is weird. I can agree with that. I'm wondering though, because MTV, VH1 are sister networks. Amy is not coming back to Love and Hip Hop from what I've heard, but it doesn't make sense for Amy to be on Love and Hip Hop no more.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
Why
make
don't they
sense
bring
for
her
her.
over here since she's getting ready to be a basketball wife? They got all the basketball exes and the who was it? I was reading something online. People was getting at Ming. So I guess now people can be a basketball girlfriend for all of 5 minutes and end up on this show now. I said, and she was answering the back too, which I'm going to get into Ming shortly. But yeah, I don't really care for Denise. Now, we did see Jennifer call Ming, and she is inviting her, who she just Jennifer may have known of Ming, because Ming is actually in that group in Atlanta with Rashida and Candy, Monietta. She knows all of them and well. So I'm not surprised Jen knows her, because Jen was close with Nene, and Nene knows all them people as well. Atlanta's too small. And the more I watch shows that are based there, I would never want to live there. Ain't no way in hell. Couldn't do it. Quay's laughing at you, one of them birds.
No, because I'm not trying to be funny. It's just I remember specifically, like, a lot of people getting introduced the same way Denise got introduced. That's why for me, that wasn't really a shocker to me that she's on the show and that she's not doing much either. Considering, so
Shawnee could do better with introductions. Maybe stay on your production.
And her baby daddy, isn't that Nicki Mudaris from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood's man? Or am I confusing him with someone else? Denise's baby daddy.
Child, I didn't even really catch it.
Yeah,
all I know.
I think she shares. I think that is him. I think that Nicki Mudaris is from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I think that they share the same baby daddy. I could be wrong, y'all. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but
because there was the girl online who was talking crap to Nicki. I think you have them mixed up because all these people look alike these days, between lashes, fillers, and wigs.
No, I don't think it's that same girl. No, I don't think. I think he had other kids prior to Nicki. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not saying. Yeah, I think he had other kids prior to Nicki, and I feel like this young lady was one of them. I think because the name just sounded familiar. Hey, bitch, they winning.
Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Oh Lord. See, I'm trying to keep up too. That's why James does the updates video, y'all. I do not keep up with pop culture too well. If I see something interesting, I send it to James or Shayna, whose link is in the description of this video, because she also covers Basketball Wives, and we want to support each other as Black creators. But yeah, I don't be knowing what the hell going on. James is my TMZ. Let me see. She does have a baby by one of those ball boys.
Oh, okay. So it's one of the ball boys. Okay. I thought the name sounded so familiar. Okay. And he does have brothers. I forgot him. Okay. So yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Okay. Now, I knew the name sounded familiar. That's why I was like, wait, is this Nicki Mudaris' baby dad too? Okay. So she has a baby by the brother.
Maybe if they would have gave the girl more time to talk, then we would have
known this, because they didn't even show. Well, first of all, Chantel's husband is a nobody. I don't know him. And who else is pertinent? I don't know Brittany Renner's baby daddy. I don't know.
He's good. He's well known.
I don't know him. Yeah, I'm just saying I don't know him. But yeah. I don't know who else is on the show. That's it, right?
That's really it. Who got a man? I'm saying a lot of they talk about Basketball Wives. If they don't, they need to change this to like the League of Women or something. Like, come up with another name. It's an insult to those of us who are actually wives. Like, stop it. Stop it.
Abyss, they win, and we know Chantel though. That's the thing. We know who she is, and we know who she belongs to. She's not so much that she's a nobody. She's a nobody to me because I don't like her, and this show ain't helping.
Chantel is a nobody. She spent all that time in the industry with her parents. It looked like her career never took off, and so she took her mama's route and decided to marry up.
Ain't nobody finna waste their time with some old evil, bitter ass, light skinned ass woman who thinks she's entitled. No, we're not gonna do all that.
The neck of a spider web that's been around.
Right.
for about 45 years. And that girl is my age. I don't listen. I don't know. But yeah, Chantel, we'll get into her too. I can't stand her. Did you have anything to add about Brandy inviting, or not Brandy, child, Jen inviting Ming to her little fake ass ceremony?
No, I feel like that was on par. I feel like that's the only person I feel like, besides Brandy and maybe Jackie, I don't feel like Ming was that big of a shock to me. I feel like, yeah, that's who I expected her to invite.
Yeah, I feel like Jen is probably how Ming got on the show, because Jen spends a lot of time in Atlanta. She has property in Atlanta. I feel
She
like
spends a lot of time in Atlanta, but she ain't really like linked up with the ladies like the way you would see like Malaysia, or who else is in Atlanta? Angel Brink. Not Angel Brink, Angel Love, the other angel, the Black Angel, because she out there too.
this is true. This is true. But Jen has the long term wealth
Yeah, she
and
had like
relevancy.
Nene and who else? There's somebody else she has out there that she real close to. I forgot her name.
I know Nene, but I don't know. That's the thing. Why is Jen here? It's all a question mark. There's too many fucking question marks. Sorry to curse y'all. My apologies. I'm trying to be better at that. Abyss that went and said it was definitely petty for Jennifer to have her wedding on Evelyn's birthday,
I don't know.
especially when you already had a wedding. Like,
I
a
don't feel
lot
that
of
same
people do
way.
get
I don't feel like it
married.
was petty.
A lot of people get married and then go and either do the paperwork later, or they'll get married first and then do the wedding later, however it works. But I would never want my wedding date to be around the birthday of somebody that I don't trust, don't fuck with, and who's coming at my husband. So I do feel like it was petty for that reason. Like, your wedding date should be clear of any bad energy. Your wedding date should be clear of any negativity. Your wedding date should be clear of any past memories
Yeah.
that's bad. It should be just for you and yours. So that's my opinion.
So
But
let me ask you.
people
I
feel
forgot what my
different.
point was. I was going to ask you something, and I forgot what the point was.
Hmm?
Sorry. No, because I'm gonna say it like this. This is Jennifer we talking about here. This lady don't have an ounce of sense, obviously.
We
So
know she doesn't have an ounce of sense, but
this is
there
what I'm
are
calling for
people.
Jennifer. This is why I said I don't. That's what I said. I don't feel like she was being petty. The
Let me tell
situation
you
is
this,
petty, yes.
Honey Boo Boo's mama would have known better. Them
No, she
people over
wouldn't.
there, they would have known better. Like, this was definitely petty. It doesn't take intelligence or any of that to know. Jen knows what she was doing, and that's why she made them faces. And I'm waiting on the little facial recognition therapist and stuff to point her out in her lies on the show, because I could tell just looking at her face, like, she knew what she was doing. She's mad. She's mad because if she didn't do this wedding on Evelyn's birthday, then we would have had to basically probably watch them film something for Evelyn's birthday, which they know wasn't going to work. She knew they were friends for so long. Like, you know when your friends' birthdays are. She knew. She knew. She had to. But, some people feel like she didn't. Some people feel
Someone
like she
said
did.
I was reading a comment off topic. I was reading a comment saying that they should bring Tasha Marbury back to the show,
Who?
and I didn't remember who that was until I went back and had to Google what season she was on and where I would remember her from. And I'm like, so when I watched her back, I was like, yeah, absolutely. Bring Tasha back on the show.
I'm gonna go Google that after this, because I'm
Yeah.
like, the name's not even coming to me. And
The
that's such
name
a
didn't come to
common
me
name.
either, but when I thought about it, I was like, who is Tasha? Like, where do we know Tasha from? So Tasha Mulberry was on Basketball Wives Miami the last season. She was the lady with the shortcut. Evelyn put her in her book. Her husband slept with the chef in Evelyn's book, and she was on the last season with Evelyn. Basically, Jennifer's replacement.
Huh. Let me see. Right. Well, bitch, that what it's like me. I'm like, who? Who is this?
Right. I
But
didn't
my
know who she was.
memory.
I had to think back. I was like, wait, Tasha Mulberry, when was she on the show? I don't even remember her.
And
I thought that was a funny thing because I was like, because I remember she was messy as hell, and then it was funny as hell.
I just cannot. Let me see. They really don't need to bring anybody back. They need to keep on with the younger girls. These 50+ year olds are aged out. A bitch
Honestly,
they went in. I agree with that. I also think that in terms of our government, we don't need nobody too old running things for a bunch of people too young. That's just my
And
personal
see,
opinion. But
I don't agree with y'all because I feel like I'm more bored with the younger ladies on this show than I am with the older ones on this show.
the problem is if we think outside of the box, we're bored with the younger women because I feel like they have to censor themselves around these older women. Evelyn, Jennifer, I guess Shawnee, since she's here, Jackie Christie, all of them beautiful women. They're aging gracefully, in my opinion. However, I know when I'm around somebody who's older, if you was raised right for the most part, you're going to want to censor yourself a little bit or not go all the way in. They may not understand certain terms, certain things. Sometimes that can be funny and entertaining, like it is for Jackie. But other than that, it becomes problematic. And she says she enjoyed Orlando. Here's the thing: Basketball Wives Orlando would be good if they removed Megan.
Yes.
Megan is Bad Girls
Remove
Club
Megan and the one with the stank energy.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand her. And what's crazy is I liked her in the beginning. And then she very much so moved me in the wrong direction with that bullying shit she was doing. So Megan, the only reason why I feel like Megan got the chance because they've been trying to bring Megan back to Basketball Wives since she left.
Yep.
And Megan wouldn't go on the show because of her fight with Jackie, from what I understood. And that's alleged because she never did confirm that. But that's what people were speculating is that her fight with Jackie was the reason why she didn't come back. And so they held on to her, kind of like Phaedra, you know.
And makes sense.
Orlando. Yes, that's why she was on Orlando. That's what I understood of it.
Yeah, I did cover Orlando. I had amazing views. I still get comments and views on those old ass recaps. I was disappointed that they did not bring it back, but I understood why they didn't. Especially, it turned into a big ass episode of Baddies that was just censored.
The drama didn't make sense after a while because when you had the baby mama and the girlfriend living next door to each other, that's when you're like, no,
like, huh?
We like, right. I mean, we spent a whole 30 minutes just on that scene alone, just because we were trying to figure out how that worked.
They also needed more, I think, relevant women because Neek was relevant, but a lot of these other girls were no shade, just keeping up with the trend of being somebody with money.
And there's only one wife on the show.
That is true.
There was only one wife. So it was like, that is true. Okay, we're gonna continue with this narrative. I mean, at least you could have at least had at least 3 or 4 of them.
But they did have some really, really good storylines on Orlando. But you know, nobody in real life like wants to see just constant fighting. We want to see something in between all of that, and the drama does need to make some type of sense, and it didn't. Let me see. Abiste. Ooh, I'm highlighting the wrong comments. Mean Brown, I believe Brandy set that trip up to get close and have sex with Ty, but Brandy needs to go also. Her storyline sucks. We will get to that. We will definitely get to that. I don't know that she wanted to have sex with Ty because if she wanted to do that, she would have done
either. I think she was just being flirty. I think she liked the attention. Because y'all have to understand.
She's a Gemini, and she's a May Gemini like me.
Right.
And I feel like as Geminis, we're very charismatic. We can be.
But then you have to understand that she doesn't get the same energy from her husband, which is the problem.
I don't think that's the problem at all. I really think it's a Gemini thing. People always think I'm flirting or want them or something like that. But Brandy's a hot mess herself. She said Orlando was much better authentic. The drama was definitely not all. The drama was authentic in that it was real because a lot of it came from off camera. But we don't care to see if that's how they handle drama. I don't need it back. They need to learn how to talk.
They needed a mediator.
They need to learn how to use their words.
Drama, they needed a mediator. They needed someone to kind of help them through it because it was never getting resolved. Like it was never getting resolved in a way that it should have between grown adults.
She said that those are the two that kind of got along, the ones that lived next door to each other. They only got along once the one that was not with the man no more finally found one.
But then
so I'm sure that went out the window.
Even because she moved like a snake. I feel like the man went out the back door and knocked on the front to get to her. I do. I never feel like he cut it off. I don't. Because what's the point of you living next door? That's stupid to me. That's ridiculous. And as the new woman, I wouldn't have agreed to that. I would have been like, if you don't move her ass across town and
Or
go
why
get
can't they
paid,
move across town if they the ones with the money? Just saying. But
because I feel like he was the one that put her up in there.
somebody could have moved because Nick has her own. That's why I was looking like, what?
Yeah,
But
that
back,
was weird.
get it back on track. But Miss would have said, I don't agree that Brandy wanted to do anything with her. I don't think she wanted to do anything with her, but I do think she wanted to flirt. But her storyline also does suck. June Gemini, yes, I just had a birthday, May 22nd. I'm tired. I'm party
Clay,
down.
I be talking about you, so don't come for me when I be talking about you in my Married to Medicine lives. I don't think you watch me personally, but on Married to Medicine, I go in on Dr. Contessa. So yeah.
Well, there's a couple bad eggs for June Geminis. It's just a fact. Let's name a few. Donald Trump. Who else? Kanye West. He's problematic as hell. I mean, there's just a couple of June Geminis that can be problematic, but then I think that's a man thing because I've never met a female June Gemini I couldn't get along with. But let me get into what else happened in this episode. Where was I? Denise, Chantel, and not Brandy and Brittany, they all go to dance lesson, and I'm looking like, okay, this is okay. But this is why also the OGs need to go because these new women are going to feel like they have to stick together for the most part, unless they're followers like Ming. Sorry, Ming. I'll get to that later. They're going to feel like they have to stick together to go against these heifers. And these heifers have been on TV for over 2 decades, so it's time. But they're doing a dance lesson, and this is where Chantel mentions that when she doesn't like someone or has a problem with them, she chooses not to be around them. And she wonders how her mother navigates the group. I swore she was going to insult her mama again, but she questioned how she navigates the group. Because I'm like, you have to know your mom's been played with a couple times over the last few seasons and things of that nature. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. But she did make valid points. I'm looking at Chantel like, why would you come onto a show that you understand because your mama has been on this show? We've watched you on this show at one point. You come on this show and then your complaint is drama. You don't like that people are around each other when they actually don't like each other. That's stupid. That's literally what you do when you film a show. I can't understand it. I can't understand it at all. So I'm looking at Chantel like, while you have good points in real life, we're not going to be around people we don't like unless we're just messy and bored and looking for stuff. But you came onto a show that gets views based on people who don't like each other in real life being around each other. So for her to make that comment, I was just like, so not only are you boring with a husband that we're never probably going to get to see, with a child that you're trying to pimp out for cash, because that's how I view it. You come onto a show. You don't want drama, but you come onto a show known for drama. I don't understand Chantel. I don't. I just don't understand her. I don't. James, are you back?
I am back. Can you hear me?
I can. It changed a little bit, but I can hear you. How'd you feel about Chantel's little comments about the drama and the trip and not wanting to deal with it?
Like you said,
You cut out. I think you're having mic issues. We are going to keep it moving because I think James is having some issues with his audio.
you know.
Huh? All right, I'm gonna mute him. Let's keep it moving, y'all, while he figures it on out. They irritated me the whole scene. I don't care for Denise. I don't care for Chantel. Brittany, I don't know why she came back. I don't really like any of these newbies. I don't. So we're gonna move it forward. But before we do, let me get to the comments. I'm missing out. Let me scroll. Mean Brown said Ty and Ming is not married. If this is Basketball Wives, why are they on the show? Girl, that Mean Brown, these people not only are not married, but their relationship to me was a fucking joke. 9 months, and now you're on TV with somebody? Can you figure out each other's favorite colors? how you pay your bills. Do you like direct deposit and auto pay, or do you like to walk it up to the office yourself and write a check? Like, I don't take these two seriously as a couple, especially the timeline. So I was looking into some things. The timeline of Ty Young's dating is questionable at best. Like, it's questionable. And it looks like Ming might have been dealing with Ty when Ty was dealing with somebody else. So I feel like that's also part of Ming's jealousy, which we'll get to, but I thoroughly agree with that. Ming would have been better as a friend of to like Housewives of Atlanta or Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Housewives of Atlanta, if it's the current cast now, which is Ratchet, Young, and Dumb. But she could probably do Love and Hip Hop Atlanta just with how she behaves. He's back. But yeah.
I'm here, y'all. I'm sorry. I have to step out for a minute. So y'all gonna see me in my car. Not really, but just I'm here. I promise. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now I can hear you fine. It's clear.
Okay, I had to switch over to my Bluetooth, so sorry, y'all. I know. But I don't like Ming. I just don't. I don't like Ming at all because to me, she's. I don't get her. I just don't get her. I don't get her premise on the show, why she's here. You weren't with that girl that long.
Yeah, I agree with that. And no worries on the car, James. Child, Shayna be doing her car chronicles, be driving and hella shit. I'll be wondering where she going and why she not bringing me. But yeah, I kind of feel the same about Ming. She's not likable at all. Thank you. I'm getting old, y'all. Nobody is married on this show except for Jackie. We cannot say now Jennifer, my dear friend of this day, went in because, as James said earlier in the live, Evelyn just now dropped receipts, legal receipts showing that these people still not married. So we got Jackie and Jennifer to marry who she's marrying, and it don't count. She said, I don't watch these shows, but I know us Geminis are a mess. Hell, I divorced one too. Ooh, a Gemini with a Gemini. That's dangerous. You might need compensation. Damn. Oh, Jesus. A bitch day winning too. I know you're not a Gemini, but hell, to be married to one that's a man, I couldn't do it, and I am a Gemini. Lord help us. She doesn't like Chantel. Do what you got to do, James. Right. He was much more clear hearing him in that car. He has a beautiful car, by the way. I want it. I don't like Ming, and I don't like what she has done to her face or body. She looks like a traffic cone. If you turn it upside down, how it comes to that point. Like, whatever she did to her face, she ruined her face. But maybe it's reversible. I don't get plastic surgery or anything like that, so I don't know.
I said she looked like a javelina.
A what?
A javelina. It's a type of pig. Google javelina. Yes, and she looks exactly like that. I promise you she does. Y'all ain't gonna be able to unsee it once you do it.
You are crazy. One moment, y'all. It is a busy day. I just got off work. I'm taking stuff out the oven so I don't burn my house down. All right. Lord help us. But
right, we struggling, y'all. My husband wanted to get off an hour early, so I'm like, boy, take your ass at work. He's like, me. I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Tell that man I want him driving and soon. Put his ass on the timeline.
You and me both. Yes, absolutely. He got 1 year to figure this shit out. But what's crazy is his job is in walking distance of our new place, so he ain't really got to get it.
That's actually really smart. That's really smart. I do agree, though, Quay. Ming is just messy. She's super messy. And then she tries to act like she ain't messy, but the girl is messy. But we move on to Ty and Ming Lee meeting up again. I guess we're supposed to give a fuck about these people who just came onto the show, who really nobody gives a fuck about. Ty is not playing basketball no more and coaches, which is good, but she's not playing basketball no more. So don't really care. And Ming, I know she's in the fashion and stuff, but I still don't quite understand what she does. I know she does a little bit of everything as it relates to fashion and beauty. I believe her brand is beauty, but I don't know her well enough to care about their relationship woes. I could give a flying fuck. Especially when you have a relationship woes with basically the Stevie J of the WNBA. It's the truth.
Girl, you almost made me crash this car. Not the Stevie J.
Ty sleep with any and everybody and has even shared somebody with Stevie. Hell, Ty is always dating somebody, and Ty has this habit, it also seems, of dating women that are not available. Mimi was figuring stuff out, coming away from Nico and Stevie and all of that stuff. Then she went to Drew. Drew still married, and that's a whole nother thing. Drew playing in our faces, but that's another video and for another time. Now she's doing this, and in between there were some other people who were relevant who Ty had mixed and mingled with. So I'm looking at Ty like, girl, and what they say about men when they have community dick, Ty got a community kitty cat meow. She does. She does. Because the way she acts, I can't.
I don't think that's how it works. I think that I think she just has a silver tongue.
Just same way some men can Captain Hook.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a snake, her tongue split in two, and that's probably what happens.
Not her James.
I
I cannot. Oh, I cannot. The Quay said runs to Google. Only know you say, OMG, James, I can never unsee it.
I told y'all. I'm telling you, she look exactly like that pig. I promise you she do.
Oh my God. Hold on, let me Google it. Because I want to know. Oh, y'all, he's telling the truth. I'm going to share the screen. Because James says that Ming looks like a javelina pig. I spelled it wrong. Don't laugh at my search. But can y'all see the screen? OMG. Ming.
Yep. That's right. She should have never fucked with her face because that's exactly what she looks like.
Oh, look how angry it looked in the corner. That one biting stuff.
Girl, let me tell y'all, in Arizona, because that's where we have them here in Arizona, them things is mean as hell.
I cannot. I'm so sorry, y'all. I messed up the whole live. I wanted to see the pig. Because when he said it, I was like, what? A pig? I cannot. Abyss said when it said Ty is messy just like a dude, I feel like Ty is charming and she is charismatic. That's all she has, in my opinion. Not that's me. Not I almost chirked on my nerds candy. I could not. James, if anybody else says that, James, y'all give James his credit and his flowers.
Give me my credit and money because, yes, I'm telling you, when I looked at her, that was the first thing that came to my head. I was like, why is her face shaped like a javelina? Like, where did she get it from? Because I know that wasn't her original face. So that's why I was like, why would you do that? Like, who told you? And she was so pretty before. I had looked at before pictures of her not that long ago. And I said, damn, why would you fuck up your face like that?
Child.
People
keep saying she looked like Sierra Gates. And now I'm looking at Sierra and I will forever see this pig because they do look similar. I'm going to move on. I'm going to hell. I'm going to get in trouble.
Going to hell, yeah. For that one, let me stop.
Now, Ty and Ming are meeting up because last time they met, I guess Ty. Now, it makes no sense because we met Ming first on the show, and Ming, I guess, was staying in a hotel or Airbnb and then was staying with Ty and then left. I don't know. It seems like some bullshit, but they're meeting up and they talk about the trip that's coming up for Vegas. And this is where Ming refers to Brandy as Ty's girlfriend. And I'm like, you weak bitch. You ain't been hit right in the face yet because why are you hating on another woman for just existing? Number one. And why are you hating on another woman all because she said that somebody was cute? I don't understand that. I just don't. And my thing is, this is how you know that this bitch is new to dating women and one of them pick me hoes. Because if you are a woman and you want to date a woman, then I would assume it's like if you're a man dating a man. Men can date men and still have male friends and it not be anything. And women should be able to date women and still have female friends and it not be a thing. if Ming is going to date a woman, being a woman, she has to fucking accept that the woman she's dating may have female friends and they may be attractive. They may look better than Ming. It may be that. But if you're going to be in a relationship, regardless of who you date in terms of orientation and all of that, you have to be able to trust your partner. If you can't trust your partner, then you have nothing. You really don't. You could try and work back at it, but you have nothing. So I'm looking and I'm just like, Ming, you have no other reason for having a beef with Brandy other than the fact that you were told that she said someone was cute, which Ty is cute. So I don't get it. But Ty explains to Brandy that, or not to Brandy, she explains to Ming that she went with Brandy to get her eggs checked. And at first I was like, maybe she's trying to prove that she's like serious about the relationship and having a baby and things like that. But then she says that Brandy has thrown no shade at Ming and, you know, all of these things. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it at all. I don't feel like Ming has a storyline outside of this show at all. I feel like she just wants to be on TV because all of her friends are on TV. If you go to her Instagram, most of her friends who are successful or have either been successful like Candy or became super successful after being on reality TV. So I just don't like how she's moving. But I also feel like Ming watched this show prior to being on this show. And I feel like she's trying to beef with Brandy because Brandy is controversial. The fans are always split down the middle when it comes to Brandy and how they feel about her. And the group seems to be very comfortable with throwing Brandy under the bus at times, or Brandy will simply act in ways that will turn people off. And I feel like Ming was like, okay, easy target. And she think my bitch is cute, easy target. But I'm looking and I'm just like, I'm tired of Ming. I'm kind of tired of Ty. But Ty could be fun on this show without Ming here, because then we would see Ty actually move around with that community cat the way that she wants to deep down. Because Ty don't want Ming. She don't. I don't think she wants her like that. I think she want to sleep with her, but I don't think she like want her. That's just my opinion. But how you feel about Ty and Ming and their little stupid ass scene, James Jackson? Uh-oh. I think he took...
I see what you be going through with this damn app. Lord. I'm over here trying to hit the mute button. The shit won't. It's like thinking.
Yes.
What was the question? Sorry.
How'd you feel about Ty and Ming meeting up together?
I feel like Ty know what she's doing.
Mm.
And I feel like Ty is playing with this lady. And because this lady don't have common sense, it's working to Ty's advantage, because now you could paint her as this crazy ass bitter ex. And you could throw other women in her face. And now she has no choice but to react the way she does. And that's being young-minded.
Yep.
Because there's no way in hell somebody who I consider an ex is going, one, I'm going to come on a show with them. That's not going to happen. And two, I'm not going to let you play with me. I'm going to be dating somebody else. And if you don't like it, oh well. But you could tell she's young-minded. And that makes me question people. Well, I don't question Candy, because Candy always friends with some old random ass woman. But that makes me question the other ladies in Atlanta. Like, what do y'all see in her? Because I see just a ghetto bird that don't know no better.
I do too. That's exactly what Ming gives. I agree with that. And she's hateful. I would never want to be friends with or date anybody, woman or man, who will hate on the next person just because they may have access or have something that, you know, they won't, and all of that. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Abyss Day went and said exactly, this is Ty, Ming's first time dating a woman, and that is what Ty said. Yeah, it shows. It shows, but it also shows how Ming is in relationships, because I feel like Ming is this exact same way when she dates men. If her man has a friend, male, female, or anything, I feel like she would have the biggest problem. She just seems like she don't know how to be in a relationship.
No, I just think that when it's not always about her, this is what she does. She's very self-centered, very, one, she has very low self-esteem, obviously. So yeah. I just think that plays out in the relationships, and whether it be man or woman, I think her insecurities, I guarantee you, she did this because of a man. I guarantee you that face is because of a man. Because there's no way I'm looking at her thinking that you really wanted this face. Just because.
That's the truth. That
you
is
know,
the truth.
like close to a doctor and say, yeah, I want to look like I have a lean. It just does, it doesn't happen. So I don't know. The reason why I don't like her is because this drama with Brandy is stupid.
Yep.
It makes no sense. And like you said, it just seemed like Brandy was an easy target. But see, the problem with y'all is y'all gotta stop testing these big ass Amazon ass women that will probably give you a run for your money. Because I mean, you don't look like you can fight at all. So I would be careful. Because I know Brandy about it. So, you know, I'm just saying.
I cannot. I agree though. I thoroughly agree with that. Thoroughly. Now, this is gonna be a little quick little thing. Not Javelina prayers. Quay is in here acting up. Now, Jen and Christian, aka the boy, I hate his haircut. He looks highly unattractive. He does not look well rested, and it looks like he's either... Huh?
Not to cut you off. I'm sorry. You know who he looks like?
Who?
I did not put this together until I was in somebody else. So you just reminded me. Someone said he looks like Mike, Britt Edie's husband, and now I can't unsee it.
He does. It's the haircut, and Mike is highly unattractive, yeah. Also.
And they have the same skin tone and then the same face structure. I was looking at him. I was like, oh, they do look alike. I wonder if they related on the low. That'd be the gag of the century.
You're not helping his fraud cause if that's the case, because then we're gonna look at it like you're running the family. But I can't stand Christian. Like, I want him to do something different with his hair or something. But Jen and Christian are talking, and production asks if the Vegas wedding is just to appease Evelyn. And Jen makes a crazy face like, oh no, I'm caught. And then it's like, now. And I'm like, I don't think people realize sometimes the more defensive they are, the nastier they make their face, or the more shade they try to throw, it just makes them look like they're the ones who are really miserable. But okay, Jen, I just want to say this before I move on. Jen, why is he in every scene with you? He got to drop you off to houses, come with you to the stove, stand outside the bathroom while you take a shit. It's like, Christian, how are you making your own money? Like, him being on camera so much goes against what Jen is trying to sell us, which is that this man is an upstanding citizen and is working a job and is rehabilitated from Department of Corrections, CDCR. He's not. He's too available. But that's just my little opinion on them. I'm not going to waste too much time on Jen and Christian talking to production. We'll come back to them. But everybody in the group is arriving to Vegas. And I once again said to myself, wow, Denise, you do not blend with this group. I want you to go away. That's all I'll say. But everybody goes in separate cars. Ty, Brandy, Ming, and I believe Denise are in one car. And in the other car, it's the rest of the women. And I'm sick of Ming because she's complaining now about the fact that she's not in the car with Brandy. Brandy has bonded with Ty, gotten to know Ty. She ain't barely talked to none of you new hoes. So why would you expect her not to be in the car with people that she is comfortable with? She did the trip for Evelyn, and Evelyn was in a whole different damn car. But okay. Okay, Ming. I'm really sick of Ming. And we come back to Ming because then in the car, Ming brings up Brandy again and is trying to get people upset. In my opinion, it looked like Ming was trying to plant seeds of doubt in everybody's head about Brandy so that they could start to feel a way about her planning this trip and think that it was messy. Which, in my opinion, the fact that they were in an Airbnb off of the strip, away from the wedding venue and location of where Jen and Christian are, I don't think that people should be painting Brandy as messy. You want to paint somebody as messy, if anything, look at Jennifer, because who the fuck wants to get married on the born day of a bitch that's hating on your marriage, your man, and your happiness? Who does that? Nobody does that. So I'm looking at them like, okay, Ming, you keep bringing this up again. And it just seems like Ming is working extra hard to have a beef with Brandy, in my opinion. If people gonna beef and don't get along, let the shit be natural. but Ming is like running to it. And I said this a couple episodes ago. I believe it was only episode 2. I was like, Ming is messy. I see what she's going to do. She'll talk shit, put stuff in everybody else's ear, and then back up and let everybody else have a beef. And she did that shit today as well, which we're going to get to. Now, in the other car, Brandy and them are also talking about the issue with Ming because she is told that Ming has an issue with her. She's like, huh? Why? And it's because of the stupid makeup comment where everyone was talking about makeup in the car. And Ming was like, yeah, I just pay to get mine done. And Brandy was like, you don't have to do that. Save your money. I go on TikTok and be learning that way. And Ming took that as disrespect. And she's trying to paint it like, oh, an underhanded compliment. Girl, just because you're that petty and you think that way doesn't mean everybody else does. Now, Brandy's been on this show a long time, and we've seen her do a lot of shit that don't make no sense, but we haven't seen her do that, if what Ming is alleging. I'm like, if you're that upset because somebody suggested you go to TikTok for some makeup tutorials, then you tripping. I struggle to do eyebrows. I'll be on TikTok, YouTube, wherever the fuck I could watch a tutorial for free, I'm going. Like, there's so much on the internet now, especially as it relates to social media. It's stupid to trip off of that. But I did appreciate Brandy for pointing out the obvious. She said, I think her actual problem with me is because me and Ty are cool, which we all know to be true. And it looks like the cast feels like Ming is being territorial and is doing too much. Brittany Ritter, I think, said it the same way. Like, you're not dating. You're on a show. Why are you doing all of this? And then Ming claims to not care and to not want Ty. But if you don't care and you don't want Ty and you don't trust Ty, then why are you trying to have Ty do all of this to get you back if being back with you isn't even up for discussion currently? Like, I don't know if I worded that correctly, but irks my soul. Irks my soul. So, James, how did you feel about them riding in the car and all of Ming's behavior?
It was confusing. It was stupid. It was silly. Like I said, she is nothing but a bird. And I'm tired of everyone trying to throw her a bone. Like, I'm just really sick of it. It's like, the shit she's talking about is contrived and stupid. Let's start there. And then also, not to mention, what Brandy did was not that big of a deal. And side note, Brandy, whoever you watch on TikTok, you need to stop. Because I can tell she ain't black, whoever it is. So we'll go there. But
James, he cut off again, you guys. When he comes back in, because we're going to come back to it. Hello, DM Rocks. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Okay, he's still cutting out a little bit. Abise when it said she wants Ty and is just playing with Ty because Ty is not faithful. Brandy's makeup does look good to me most of the time, but there are certain times where she has on too much makeup. I would say like 2 seasons ago, before she got into it with Brooke that season, before Brooke left, she was like, her makeup was too much. But I think in recent times, last season and this season, it does look better. It does. But Brandy looked better even with caked on makeup than Ming look with a little bit. Huh?
Is it breaking up now?
No.
Okay, I was in a tunnel, y'all. Sorry.
Do you want to finish what you were saying?
What was I saying?
Something about Ty and Ming. But we could come back to it if you want, because there's
let's come back to it, because I know there's another scene with them. So let's come back to it.
There's a whole bunch of them. We see a fake scene of Jennifer and the boy toy getting married in Vegas. Let me tell y'all this. The reason I call it fake, I don't know a single fucking courtroom that's going to let a whole production crew come in and film them do that. I don't. I know that they would let you, use your phone, have a friend or family member there, maybe selfie stick, but okay, but it's Vegas too, so I don't know. But they went to court, and I'm like, what did you go to court for? You already had your wedding. All you had to do was go downtown or wherever it is, clerk recorder's office, and say, I want to marry him. And he say, I want to marry her. And you wait for your number to be called. And then when you hear now serving, you go and you get your damn, your marriage certificate. They're already had the wedding. So I'm looking at Jen like, you're definitely doing this just to have a moment and to get back at Ev by stealing the moment from her birthday, which
to
me is just weak. Like,
it's because it's like that made no sense. Like, she didn't know the proper process, which Jennifer don't give me some.
It cut out again. He must have got under a tunnel, but I'm pretty sure we was agreeing on things appropriately. But yeah, I'm just very, very annoyed with the situation. Now we move on to see Chantel come in, and she hugs everybody but her mama, which I didn't like. And then she's explaining all this stuff, trying to sound bougier than she had. My kids are with my nanny, and I just couldn't see myself traveling. Bitch, if you hear, and just be here. Please. Like, we don't need the explanation, Chantel. We do not care. We more so want to know why your husband can't seem to help with the kids at all. Because it seemed like when this was filming, basketball season was either nearing the end or had just begun. And I'm just wondering, Chantel, why are you on this show talking so much crap about your mama when at least your mama can produce your daddy to be on this show? When she needs Doug to film with her, he will film with her. Okay? He will. But Chantel, we've yet to see your man. We ain't even seen him. Where is he at? Is he okay? Like, what is going on? But everybody goes to the room to find out like which rooms they're going to get. And it kind of looked like a free-for-all. But Brandy ends up getting a connected room with Ming Lee and her messy ass. And even though the cast is not saying it vocally, everyone's saying in their confessionals that Ming is kind of messy. So, including Ty, who deals with Ming. And I'm wondering if Ty feels Ming is messy. I wonder if because Ty felt Ming is messy, if that's like something that contributed to her serial cheating. I don't know. But Ming is messy as hell. But Brandy announces to everybody that she invited Jennifer to come by the house a little bit later. And this is where Evelyn gets upset, which I can expect, saying that it's her birthday house. Bitch, did you pay for it? Talking about what's yours. Is your name on the rental? Did you book the Airbnb? Shut up, Evelyn. I'm tired of Evelyn. I really am. But I do understand Evelyn. I don't want to be around nobody I got a beef with on my birthday. But then at the same time, I'm up and down because Evelyn literally picked and started this beef. If she would have just minded her business and left that woman's soon-to-be husband alone, maybe none of this would have went that deep. But Evelyn always goes too far, in my opinion. So now people just kind of accept it, which they should not. But Brandy says that she wanted to include, not exclude, Jennifer. And I see what Brandy's trying to do. I feel like she's trying to be the peacemaker in the group because for a couple of seasons since her return, Brandy has been having beefs with people. She was beefing with Evelyn. Then she was beefing with Brandy. Or not Brooke, the bug-eyed. Miss Bug-eyed Brooke. There we go. Thank you. She was beefing with Brooke. Brandy is always having some type of beef. The other thing I agree with the Bitch Stay Winning's comment, production probably told her to do that because they still have to get together and film. So it irritates me with these women knowing that they still try to make it seem like it's something so much more when it ain't. It's irritating. It just is. And that, I am tired of the group referring to themselves as a sisterhood. I have a sister. Our sisterhood is not like this. We may not get along all the time, but even when we're upset with each other, we still know how to be upset with each other with dignity and respect because that's what you do when you care about somebody. These bitches ain't got nothing close to a sisterhood. The only thing they have in common is their paychecks. That's it. And I want them to stop using these doggone words such as sisterhood in alignment with this bullshit because no friendship, no friend group should be this way. It should be anything but this. Hell. But we move on to everybody looking at Brandy with the side eye because she invited Jen. And I'm like, would y'all have rather Jen showed up and then you looked at Brandy crazy? Or would you rather her warn you that this person that some of you don't like is coming? And the only person who should have a problem with Jennifer coming should be Evelyn. The rest of these bitches should shut the fuck up and put their cigarettes out because it doesn't make any sense. None of you have a problem with Jennifer but Evelyn. So why do y'all care if she comes by? I just don't get it because y'all already know you're going to argue. So you may as well just get it over with soon. So moving on, Jennifer and the boy. Let me see. I lost place in my note. James, if you want to add anything, feel free. If your audio
I don't know. Can y'all hear me now?
A little bit. Say something again. Give me a sentence. It's a little break.
Give you a sentence. It's a
Oh
little
yeah,
breaky.
keep breaking out. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
He said, "Okay, okay." Oh Lord, let me see. Quay said they're dysfunctional and fake with each other. All of them. Yep, I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, they just are, and it's weird that they're trying to paint Brandy as a problem when they are the problem. But Ming hears Brandy and Ty, huh?
I said, I don't know why my Bluetooth does not want to disconnect.
Oh, I don't know. It might be user error, friend. I don't know. But Ming overhears Brandy talking to Ty, because Ty is in Brandy's room because Brandy's upset and bothered that everyone has an issue, and she hears Ming talking to Ty, and then Ming comes into all these people. Ming comes into Brandy's room and says to Ty, like, you shouldn't be in here talking to her. You should be in here talking to me. And I'm like, bitch, why the fuck should she be in your room talking to you, ho, if y'all ain't even in a goddamn relationship? And you just said you don't want to be with her and that y'all just want to build and have a friendship. If you got a friendship, your friend should be able to talk to whoever the fuck she want to talk to. And I'm sorry to curse, but she irritated me because bitches like that, if that was like 16-year-old me, I probably would have been like, square up, ho. If you want to have a problem, let's have a problem and just get it out. Let's just fight and get it out. That's the one thing I like that men do. They have a problem, they get that aggression. Men will literally fight, shake hands, and go have steak after. And as James said, I don't think Ming can fight, but she might need to learn the way that she's acting on this show.
I definitely feel like she all mouth. I definitely feel like that.
Mm-hmm. It don't make
just
no
all
type of sense.
Just all mouth and just all bark and to me, I just want Brandy just to pop her in her mouth just one good time. Pop her out. It might be frozen, but at the end of the day, just go ahead and do it. Your hand will heal. I promise you.
Not your hand will heal. If you hit her right, your hand might not have to heal. There is a form to it. But we move on to basically Chantel, Denise, and Ming end up in a separate room talking about Brandy. And Brandy comes in and she's like, wait, why are you telling people I'm making underhanded comments and stuff when I never even said shit about your makeup? Which she did not. Ming brought up her makeup and Brandy stated, well, this is what I do. Now, I know we had someone last week who joined in, a new person who watches our audience who was like, it was underhanded. And I had to say that last week, and I'm going to say it again. If somebody's saying to you when talking about makeup, you should just go on TikTok. You don't even have to pay. If that upsets you, then you need to go get a therapist or a life coach and figure out within yourself why you're upset. Because that is not something, to me, that's worth getting upset about.
Yes, we're trying to figure out what's underhanded with the comment. What's underhanded about it?
She responded. You guys were having a conversation. Did you want her to ignore you, Ming? Did you want her to say, you stupid as fuck, bitch, for paying for that makeup? Would Ming, you have no argument, you have no beef. And then Ming is doing the shit she do on the show in the comments on Instagram, arguing and getting at people who questioning her. So I don't think she'll last very long on this. I just don't. It's stupid.
No, she Ming is Drea Michelle. She's gonna stay on the show for a check. She definitely gives me Drea.
Oh, yeah. And look at that. Everybody used to, years ago at some point, people were either defending Drea or feeling like, oh, maybe she's not. Now look at Drea. She's a fucking predator. I'm sorry. I said what I said. Ain't no way your baby daddy should be the same age as your child that you didn't raise so that you could chase after other people. I don't like Drea, y'all, but I'll get into that in a moment. DM Rock says, I like Jennifer, but she needs to get away from this scammer. We know what it is. We know what it is. And if Jenner, that scamming ass boy, is watching this show, I'd like to remind everybody, as it says on our channel bio, goes across the bottom of the screen and in the description of the video. Everything we say is alleged. It's our opinions based on what we see. Don't be trying to sue us because of your criminal record, sir. Just saying. Quay said, I definitely
have a habit of this with Tim Norman in his hips and other dudes stole your Range Rover in the court. And Evelyn, there was a dude in between that too. So yeah, I don't want to hear it. Yeah, Jennifer. Tell me she a scammer too, allegedly.
She has to be, because let me tell y'all this. I could go to my hood. I could go to Deep East Oakland and find somebody to date if I was single and not find nobody breaking the law and doing all of that. Jen is finding, like, what they call it, white collar crimes. Them the ones you got to watch out for. The other little niggas, they be reckless. But these the ones that be actually thinking out how they're going to screw people over. It takes a lot of thought. So I don't know. Jen knows what she's doing. That's why she ain't married to him. That's exactly why. But Ming says that everybody has an issue with Jennifer being invited. Once Brandy goes off and it's like, so you mad about some makeup and I didn't even get at you? She's like, you ain't even remember what you said. And Brandy said, no, I don't remember what I said, but I know that I never intended to have no beef or say nothing bad about you. You ain't done shit to me. They barely know each other. So when Ming, I'm sorry, psychology make me study shit like this. When Ming saw that she was losing that argument, then she decided to use everybody else and throw them under the bus and say, well, everyone has an issue with you inviting Jen. And Brandy told them exactly what I would have told them. Well, if you have a fucking issue with who I invited in my house, then you can fucking leave. In the words of Meredith Marks, you can leave. Why is it that colorless lady Meredith Marks can tell somebody to leave, but then you come to shows like this when somebody needs to be told to leave and they don't say that? But I was glad that Brandy did, because I did feel that way. Like, if you don't like what I'm doing on my trip, on my shit, on my moment to have a cash trip, then you can fucking go, and that's your check, not mine. Like, I'm not going to sit here and argue and explain myself. And I think Brandy is tired of explaining herself to these women, because last season we saw her break down and snap. And I think she's just trying to come about it with peace. And it seems like Ming coming at her with this is just too much. And Ming is doing all this over a bitch that couldn't even stay faithful and that she claims she don't know that she won't. So I'm looking at Ming like, you're genuinely not smart. But we knew that because you look like the javelina pig. James, I can't with you with that pig. But
y'all, I'm telling you, I'm over here dying between her talking about Meredith and her wrangle and her javelina pig. I am just on the floor right now. Y'all gonna make me crash my car.
I'll make you crash the car. I can't. But I just can't. So Ming then throws Chantel under the bus, saying that Chantel was the main one that had an issue with it. And Brandy looks at Chantel, and this is why I do not think Chantel was a good fit for this cast. And this is why they need to either get rid of the OGs and keep the cast in a similar age range, as a bitch they went and said, or they need to let go of the show, in my opinion, because the first thing Brandy said to Chantel, sweetheart, are you bothered? And I'm like, okay, now Brandy, you being passive aggressive and obnoxious. You know what you're doing. That's condescending as fuck to call somebody sweetheart. Because regardless, now we know Chantel is probably at least 10 years, maybe 12 years younger than Brandy. So the way I am, if you are more than 5 years younger than me, we will never have an argument because I simply will not entertain you. Now, I could be your friend. We could talk. But if you too young and then you flip out on me and then you start behaving like you young, I would say this. Listen, sweetheart. Okay, dear. She said, I'm not your mama or your friend. I said, okay, Brandy, let her know, because Chantel, you could tell, is just trying to go with the majority. If you're supposed to be about peace, Miss Chantel, then act that way. But she tells her, don't call me sweetheart. And it was funny because that's all she said. And Brandy kept calling her that and she didn't do nothing. Why are you on this show? And your mama is the Jackie Christie. And you just going to sit there in silence? Your mama is Jackie Christie. And we know Jackie can't barely fight neither. But she will if she have to.
She will, she have to. But that was the kicker for me. It was like, so you're not about that life, Chantel, but you got all that mouth. Okay, noted.
Crazy. Got the biggest mouth and the neck of a 57-year-old. and you can't fight, I'd be trying to fight just so I could get a new neck. But okay. All right, Chantel, I guess. But it's interesting because Ty calls Brandy hostile, even though it was Ming who sat there and stirred up shit, went and talked about this girl with other girls in a way that she could hear. Has a whole beef with this woman, not because of anything that happened, but because she feels intimidated because Brandy is beautiful. And Brandy's face doesn't look like the Javelina pig. So if Brandy did want to do something with Ty, I do believe Ty would give in, and I do believe they could make it happen. But I feel like Ming is just super insecure and is trying to gaslight everybody. But let me get the comments first. Let me see. Jen knows who she's with, and she still chooses to be with him, and that will ruin her. She better fix it. Let me see. Hey, twin. Hey, James. Been missing y'all in the TV shows this last week doing yard work. Girl. Yard work.
Hey, good luck with the yard work.
Ain't you in New York? Got a big old yard in New York? You lucky. Hell. Every time I've been to New York, I never see like yards, but I never go too far either. Pretty much stay in like Brooklyn, Manhattan, those areas. I don't see yards over there, but I'm also not from there. So there's that. What you say, it's almost that time for us. It is that time for us. I had a birthday already, and I know Shani is a Gemini as well, and her birthday is coming. If you are a Gemini, feel free to comment your birthday in the chat. We will happily shout you out on Instagram, YouTube, and all the places that we are. Hell, even if you're not a Gemini, just tell us your birthday. We'll tell you happy birthday. We would love to. Quay is laughing at us. Don't have time for your mess, youngin'. Telephone tough guy. That is definitely Chantel. Not the female Benzino with no neck. No, Shani, she has a neck. It's just, it looked like it's been with her for 57 years. That's all.
It's just long and pretty craftish. It's like it's there. Yeah.
It looked like she don't scrub her neck when she shower.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. But
yep.
Oh Lord, Saturday, twin, last day of the month. Oh, your birthday is soon. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you do something fun. Do whatever make you happy. That's what a birthday should be. Hell. She said June 11th. I love it. I love it. So many birthdays coming up. I hope somebody is like going on vacation or eating a lot. That's all I be wanting on my birthday. I can't drink like I used to no more. I don't know what's wrong with me. Things have changed. But happy birthday to all Geminis, including those watching the live replay and all of that. Everybody loves to hate us because they hate us. We are the leading sign and immutable sign, and there's only 4. So love us. Anywho, but we see Jen and this boy talking, and Jennifer is explaining that Brandy is going to come to their wedding and Christian was against it. But we know that his opinion means nothing because he contributes nothing but debt to this relationship. So, you know, there's definitely that. There's definitely that. Did you want to add anything to Jen and this boy's conversation, James? Or
yeah, I do actually. I kind of feel like Jen gives him way too much control for someone who I contribute, like you just said. That's way too much control. That is way too much power. That is way too much of anything. He shouldn't have a say. Them your girlfriends. So he shouldn't have a say in anything. If you wanted to invite them, you need witnesses, don't you? So if you really get married, that is. So what the hell's the problem? Jen, it's something about him. You ain't paying for it. Well, of course, she's stupid, so she's not going to see you pay attention to the warning signs and the Google Yelp reviews and shit like we all do. But that's all I'm going to say on that one.
Not the Google Yelp reviews. I would love to, like, they tell their story of how they met, but I would love to, like, be a fly on the wall to actually see the interaction. Because if I'm Jen's age and I see a boy like that, and then I learned too, he just got out of prison for some shady shit, and then he's living in my building. That's so many red flags, but what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Let me see. My birthday is July 13th, turning 26. Oh, you turned 26. You in your prime, DM Rocks. You are in your prime. You are, what is July 13th? You're a Cancer, right? You're a Cancer. I like Cancers. I do. I get along well with Cancers, Tauruses, Sometimes Leos, once they figure out their egos, but you know, happy birthday to you again, Shani. She said all day, every day. Every day. She's let him take the lead like he's paying the cost to be the boss, right? Apparently, he needs to run Kiki her money back. But we then finished this episode with Ming still talking shit and throwing jabs. Which is the worst type of bitch. Ming, you could tell Ming is the female that if she catches her spouse cheating, even if the female that the spouse was cheating with did not know that the spouse was in a relationship, she's still gonna give that person hell. She gonna hold the side people accountable before she hold her man or woman accountable. That's what Ming gives. Ming just seems miserable to me. Don't like it. And I also feel like, Ming, you need to check Ty, not Brandy, because Ty is also messy. Ty knew bringing Brandy to your fucking fertility appointment was going to make this woman feel some type of way, especially when Ty told us Ming is the first. She is Ming's first woman that Ming has dated. So you have to expect her to feel more territorial when she sees you go on to appointments and having fun with somebody who said that she was cute, who was also going through a divorce because of their trust issues with men. And I do believe we'll see Brandy date a woman eventually, but I don't think that Ty is that woman. That's just my personal opinion, because if my nigga cheated on me with over 300 people, I wouldn't want to go back to men. I wouldn't. Just for the pH and sanity of my coochie, I wouldn't want to go back. I wouldn't trust it. But I don't understand also, before we end it, why everybody in this group had to check Brandy, but nobody checked Evelyn for coming for Christian. Though Christian is shady, I feel like Evelyn could have let us see that on our own. Even prior to knowing anything too bad about him, we didn't trust him and people looked at him as an opportunist. It would have came out. That's what happens when you're on TV. So Evelyn didn't have to do all of that, but it's interesting. Nobody ever checks her, but everybody wanted to say something to Brandy. If I was Brandy, I would utilize this platform to come up, find a way to get my brand going, whether it be YouTube, cooking shows. If that Ari girl with the fake booty, the G Herbo's baby mama, if she can have a cooking show, if Trick Daddy can have a cooking show, then Brandy, you can do it too. But I think the longer she stays on the show, it can impact her brand or cause her to kind of like actors get typecasted. People will only know her for Basketball Wives when there's so much more to know her for. So that's how I feel about it. Koi said pH and sanity are hella important. Right. That's how you know every woman should be in tune with their coochie. You said what, James?
No, I said it really is. And then absolutely, y'all need to stop letting these men, Brandy, go get away with shit like that. That's over 300 women. That's a damn shame. All the juices. Lord Jesus. Like all the every time someone mentions that, I'm like, damn. Because we know at least 150 of them women were on her watch. So shit, Brandy. Oh, damn.
That stressed me out. Make me want to go get a monostat for her. But that was it. Did you have anything to add, James? Because I know your thingy was cut out. I want to give you the opportunity. Anything you felt you needed to get off your chest that you didn't get to say, please say it.
I don't remember because I'm already running late trying to pick up this man. So I'm so sorry, y'all. This was not in the plans, but you know, you got to there's a hierarchy to life. That's all I'm going to say. So I don't remember anything that I needed to go back to. So I'm so sorry about that. But it was
apologize. Oh, Jesus.
It was okay. That's all.
It was okay. I do think this season is giving more than the last 5 seasons of Basketball Wives have given. But I also want to see them lean away from this Ming, Ty, Brandy, and Jen, Evelyn, Christian beef. Oh, the cat meowing. I do not care. I just don't. But that's all that happened, you guys, this episode. I'll be back live again tomorrow if the Valley airs. I've been loving the Valley. My little colorless people, they fun.
I that one day how the couple that's moving to Santa Clarita. I just saw their house. It's so beautiful.
Of course, she knew. And honestly, after this season, I wouldn't be surprised. I see why she gave in. After this season, dealing with these people, I would have moved far away too. Fuck them. But
Santa Clarita is not that far. They all right. But yeah,
well, in terms of like what they were looking for when they were talking about it, She didn't want to go to the Valley because it was near their friends, but away from their work. Santa Clarita, because he worked in Hollywood. It's not that far, but for her, I guess it is. She was being unreasonable with that. But we will be doing the Valley, you guys, tomorrow if it airs tonight, because Memorial Day always throws things off. Shows that are coming up that we'll be covering: Housewives of Miami. We are aware of the Housewives of Rhode Island. Whenever the fuck it premieres, I'll cover it because I do New Jersey, and I don't think New Jersey's coming back. James currently has Somebody's Son as well as Housewives of Atlanta. If you guys have any shows that you watch on the OWN network or any network that you feel like you would like to see James cover, please let him know so he can add some things.
Y'all write to Carlos to tell him to bring back Family Empire Houston. I miss Aunt Nikki.
He needs to bring back those shows instead of bringing back the Love and Marriage thing. I don't know, but any shows you guys think that James would do well at covering, please recommend it to us. We cover the things that you guys love, so your opinion does matter as well as our audience. But other than that, you guys, the link to James's channel as well as Shayna_MCD are both in the description of this video, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Adios.
Thank you for having me. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.